Picture the ocean from inside the eye of a storm. Each rising wave presents its own unique threat, churned by the changing of the tides. But no matter how far you sink below the surface, all there is to see is one continuous expanse of water. This is the tortured, yet piercingly clear headspace from which post-black metal curio Bizarrekult slowly and painstakingly emerged with its absorbing third album, Alt Psalm Finesse. Welcome back to Death Metal Pug. I'm Pug XCX. I want to be a rock star when I grow up. The purpose of this is to have fun and talk about music. If for some reason we can help out your band, project, or business, please reach out to us at deathmetalpug@gmail.com. We're looking for an additional voice. Email us if you would be interested in that. I'd like to thank Esam for being on last week's episode. Pogs. Good job. You did a good job. Bizarrekult is a black metal project formed in 2006 by Roman V. It began in Siberia as a solitary creative outlet for Roman's poetry and music, rooted in themes of isolation, existential struggle, and introspection. Earlier work included raw demo recordings, but the project was set aside in order to deal with life's challenges, only to get a new spark a decade later. After relocating to Norway, the spiritual home of black metal, Roman revitalized Bizarrekult with a renewed vision. The change helped evolve the music into a blend of icy, tremolo riffs, haunting atmospheres, and introspective lyrics that bridge raw black metal with more expansive post-metal textures. Bizarrekult is a legit, modern-day, no bullshit studied black metal band. An interesting, varied black metal project that does not have to get too weird to stand out. Instead, relying on crisp black metal instrumentalization and black metal vocals put together in a traditional but refreshing way. Controlled, varied, dynamic, and somewhat progressive black metal. I don't think a single song on their albums has a repeated section. So it's definitely not verse, chorus, bridge, chorus kind of stuff here. But it also doesn't jerk itself off for the sake of instrumentalization. The changes fit the song. What I like best about this band is what they don't do. They don't give me BS, unnecessary, poppy, pretty parts. They don't give me acoustic intros and intermissions. In a lot of albums, they might be tempted to use this to create dynamics and textures, but I've heard it all before, like all of it. A band like this deserves a fine red wine, Sutter Home, Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh my God, that's terrible. A band like this deserves a fine wine, Bee Nectar, Blood Orange, Zombie Killer. This is a cider mead combination with blood orange added. Oh yeah, much better. I first heard Bizarrekult from its debut full-length 2021 album, V Overlaid. This translates to We Survived, and its 2021 release coming out of COVID may not be a coincidence. The album has themes of survival, despair, hope, and Reflection. I'll probably just refer to this as the Moose album because I don't speak other languages real well. At first, I was a little turned off by the terrible band name. It just sounds a bit juvenile, but a trusted website had this on its year-end rankings, prompting me to listen to it, and I'm glad they did. There's an opening atmospheric track on this Moose album, then the next two tracks are vicious black metal, desperate screams, dark throne style throat vocals. The fourth track, Ut I Skogen, slows down quite a bit, but then the atmosphere of the track just puts us in what feels like a scary empty cabin in the woods type of feeling. It's a little rock and rollery as well on parts of the album. Just every so often, infrequent, when it comes up, you're kind of like, did that happen? The next track, track 5, has haunting. Now, not hokey, not like pop punk clean vocals, but haunting vocals in this section. By the way, there's a lot of moose in Norway, I guess. I looked it up. Track 9, Insolent, is set up nicely with the calm instrumental track just prior, but this is a hypnotic masterpiece. It is a glorious 5.5 minute song with the Satanist era behemoth vibes to it. The next track, Sist Ord, is varied with its open bass notes and creepy vocals bleeding to the atmospheric ending to the album that tease its own replay up nicely on it. I feel like different people will pick different masterpiece track that they like from the album, if that makes sense. I think different fans will have different favorite songs from Moose. At 11 tracks and 40 minutes, V overlaid Moose never overstays its welcome. The next album works better as a whole piece, where this album can kind of have songs cherry picked from it. Since we talked about Mole last week, let's compare. Compared to Mole, I like this band better. Try the Moose album. Unlike the last Mole album, you don't have to be like lured in on each track. The album knows it's alive and consciously is telling a story throughout the entire album. Overall, this album is heavier but less varied from album number 2. Is that new Uda album acoustic? That's like wanting a guitar for Christmas, but getting socks instead. Bizarrekult's second album, Den Top Kragen, released in 2022, was just 16 months after the Moose album and translates into The Lost War. If you don't mind, I'll just call it the B album. This album takes some more listens to get used to. It's not as an immediate of an album, but when it does, it really sinks in. Album 1 was a good clean spin on black metal. Angry, fun bits on that album. Album 2 here though, the B album, is more melancholic and twisty. Do these guys tour? One concert in Norway next year, that's it? More folks should be into this band. Bizarrekult is probably held back by refusing to sing in English, but a little bit more on that later. This B album was the first one with Seasons of Mist. The instruments are clear, real drums, still sung in native tongue. There's so much to enjoy here due to the non-repeated sections or portions. I found with this album, 42 minutes of music is exactly enough. If you have a normal like 40-minute album with like choruses, repeated riffs, and so much there, like how much is really like non-repetitive, like 20 minutes of the album? It's tough to say, but it would shave down the variety a lot, right? Interestingly, while each track is different from one another, the whole thing sounds the same. And I understand that's kind of a BS music reviewer thing to say, but what I'm meaning is like there's a constant like undeniable flow to this album. Even flow. What can I say? I'm from the 90s. Often a track will slide into an old school black metal riff portion with raspy black metal vocals over it, increasing the rage and intensity, and it just works. The second track, Kongen, which ChatGPT told me translates to the king, is not necessarily like the rest of the album in a way. My interpretation of the track is it's meant to introduce the king, which when putting those sentences together seems incredibly obvious, but the music starts like pretty and then like kind of layers in some sore throat vocals, ending with the climax of Roman just screaming, Kongan, Kongan. Track 3, the title track, is one of the best songs. The midsection may be my favorite part on the album. Pretty, emotive, tremolos with mid-low black metal vocals, not gutturals, but just put on top of it. It swings between black metal played fast and slow on this album. My second favorite track is probably Lotslat, track 7. It has atmosphere, it has room to breathe with the instruments, but then an ending with like a little bit of swagger. The closer is a good dynamic song as well, very epic. There is a certain black metal guitar tone that just works with the raspy vocals on this B album. The whole album is sad without like crying outright, but more so like with the guitars. I feel this even with the non-English vocals. The whole album's construction and execution is wonderful black metal. On February 20th, 2026, Bizarrekult released Alt Psalm Fiends, All That Exists. I don't want to confuse post with shoegaze or black gaze in this band. Not gaze, but post. So who cares? Is it good? This one leans into the post sound more. That's why I'm kind of like pointing it out. Not in a soft AFI way or even like a turnstile way, but in a post black metal way. Buzzy guitars with cool flowing riffs, not overly post, just post moments on the songs which add to the variety. Guitar work is something I haven't mentioned enough on the prior two albums all that much, but it continues to be good on this album. Metal doesn't work for me unless the guitars are good. I mean, it's gotta be like interesting, heavy, like something to it. And Roman is good at putting together guitar sections to build these songs. This album, except for the last song, is written in Norwegian bokmål. The final track in English is the first song Bizarrekult have ever written in English. The start of this album, the track Hun, H-U-N, is like an opening, but not an instrumental. It sounds not only like an introduction to the album, but like an introduction to a theme, or like opening a door to black metal.
She is your God, who waits and observes, who frightens and fascinates, the all-seeing silent eye, condemned to wait for our shared end.
I translated Hun's lyrics to English from a well-known website. The poetic lyrics continued throughout the album. I used software to translate the first 3 songs on the album. Like any good piece of poetic writing, the lyrics may refer to something specifically or are interpretable. My guess is like a relationship or some kind of like post-war themes, but they're interpretable based upon your experiences, background, and feelings, like a good piece of art. If I'm wrong and this some kind of like Tolkien BS or something, you know, from a book, you know, let me know in the chat. Track 2, Bicket Hennis, is the first big track on the album, and it is awesome. It is vicious post-black metal ferocity. The title translates to Her Gaze. Now again, these translation apps are free and quick. I don't have any Norwegian friends. Closest I ever got was going on a Norwegian cruise once, but it didn't go to Europe. Minor keyed guitar parts played over rhythm guitar. This album is a great February release here in the Midwest with its extended dark days, bitter cold temperatures, and constant gray skies. Variety of modern black metal sounds. It never drifts too far away from black metal. 3/4 of the way through track 7, Aversion, those funky little chords over the double bass are just sick. There's a lot of moments on this album where you're just like, damn. I won't do that again. The finale, Tomit, is in English and seems to express regret in whatever was done. Roman is joined in his struggle by guest vocalists from Predatory Void, Mole, and Dodd Hemsgaard. At least he's got friends, and he needs them because this thing is bleak. Nothing overstates its welcome on this album. I liked False album earlier this year, but it basically was the same like 10-minute song done 4 times. This is not that kind of album, but he's again not that kind of musician who's gonna build traditional song structures either. Not traditional, not black metal, not progressive where things get weird. Well executed and sounds awesome. Now that's a lot of praise, so why isn't this the biggest band in the world? It's still extreme metal, and while the untraditional song structures create an interesting storytelling component to the album, it hampers certain memorability. You need a lot of listens to recall certain songs and certain moments on this album. The albums are strolls, jogs, or panics through a metaphorical forest sometimes. Pop music people listen to like 2.5-minute songs, and while each individual song on this never overstays its welcome, it is in no way commercial in its construction of the song. Does that look cool or not? Is this album better than the prior 2? That will vary by the individual, I think. If you like the prior 2 albums, you will definitely like this. There's no like weird tangents, and the songs are, you know, like the prior albums. They do have a lot of variety to them. If this is your new favorite by the band, it will be by a little. If you don't like it as much as the prior albums, it won't be by much. It'll just be by a little bit. So there's a good consistent quality to this. If this is the first time you've heard Bizarrekult and you like it, good news. You will like the other 2 albums as well. There's no drop in quality here at all. Bizarrekult should be bigger in black metal circles. That's why we're doing this. Bizarrekult's evolution reflects a journey from raw black metal roots towards a more atmospheric and introspective sound, incorporating elements akin to post-black metal and melancholic, melodic textures while still retaining the harsh intensity of classic Norwegian black metal. Check out Bizarrekult's Alt Psalm Finns. Jeremy broke out a shirt this week from local Doom legends Aseethe, Arlene, something like that. Jeremy noted he and his wife saw Arlene play Saturday in West Liberty. Irrelevance is his favorite song from them. Check out Arlene. Java shots. That's it. The